side-by-side coming down, and it's going to be Caleb Hall taking it.
Well, if I knew the answer to that question, I'd be a millionaire, but that is the $1,000,000 question, and, you know, high bangs, rim riding around the place, that wall can get you quicker than you know it, quicker than you expect, so look for some guys slip sliding around this bull ring, and some great racing tonight. Yeah, and that's kind of been the story this entire season, guys, right under a tablecloth in times. So, great to see another close battle of times, and it's going to be another battle of inches here. And Josh, this is the coolest thing ever, seeing all these vintage cars lined up diagonally across the pit wall like that, just like the good old days. Tons of beautiful paint schemes in this field. My goodness. Yeah, and Josh, I have to say, I think that's the most beautiful car we've ever seen Chris Wetz run ever. Pretty sure as a crowdfunding deal or something. And this is our view from high above the grandstands here up in the commentary box. See all the way around this racetrack. Uh, yeah, and it looks like a little bit of an issue with Dylan Smith there dropping to the back early. Yeah, and things settling out single file here pretty early on. No surprise there, as you know, it's two different, very unique lines through both 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Turn 1 and 2, you really got to get down, kind of clip the apron, and really diamond it hard. Get a really hard and aggressive up towards that outside wall, and then shoot it all the way back down to the inside to get the run going back down the backstretch. And down in 3 and 4, you just shoot it in and you kind of run it up middle to high groove all the way around the wall. It's very much a bull ring. Oh, oh, that's definitely not what you want to have happen. Yeah, and Josh, well, one thing we've preached on this broadcast is consistency. These guys want to consistently run laps up out in the front. They want to be out there. They want to dominate so they can get to the stage break, get those stage points, and then bring it on home to the end because something they haven't been the best of this season. Which we've seen both happen before. So yeah, they're playing kind of cops and robbers right now. The top two and Taylor in third there. And here we got Bailey to the inside. Is he gonna do? I thought he was gonna try to do it going into one. Yeah, and you know that's worth Yeah, and actually that's worth noting because I see Bailey getting. I mean, he's chopping a lot of apron in 1 and 2 especially, and he that last lap when he really got a run, he was pretty aggressive down towards the apron too in 3 and 4. So definitely trying to figure something out here. Yeah, half second fall off already here early into the run. So yeah, definitely. And we do have a report from down on pit road from Brandon Nicholson here.
Thank you, Dylan. We're hearing a lot of chit chat over the radios. Drivers are complaining a lot about how the track is handling way different than it did in practice. Practice earlier in the day, of course, it was brighter, more sunshine out. Now we're getting closer to sunset here, so the track is cooling off a lot, and these drivers such as Kyle Riley, Brandon Lambert, have all noticed. They say that the car is just bottoming out. They're complaining about a lack of grip. So we'll see. We'll see as the runs go on later on in the race. With fresher tires, with pit stops later, we can definitely expect drivers to be a lot looser later on in the run.
Taylor now through 1 and 2, and he gets a better run into the corner than the 7. Now the 7 of Taylor side by side with the 60.
Yeah, as Josh, I do apologize. I am working on getting our audio restored here on the broadcast. Still haven't quite worked out all the gremlins yet from that flood we had here in the HV compound.
And looks like he backed up the corner a little bit more than Taylor did. Taylor hit him, and around the 46 went. Now we pit lap 24. Rada's going to let everyone by. Frisch is going to loop it on pit entry, so the points leader is going to drop from 4th. Not something you want to do this early on in the race, and I don't think he cannot exit the pit lane that way, so he is going to have to pit, and he's going to lose all of that ground. As Corey Spencer stays out in car number 11, but everybody else is down pit lane. He's certainly playing the stage game here and not the full race game.
Yeah, so I did want to make a formal apology to the viewers here. I'm not sure if we had any audio over on the other end, either Josh or the track, but I do believe I have it fixed now, so.
Corey Spencer now pits in car number 11. As I can confirm, we do have audio for the viewers at home.
Oh, that is excellent.
As OT, Kyle Riley, Chris Wetz, Chad Mikas, Matt Wishart, Joey Bailey. What is going on with this pit strategy? I looked down to make sure our audio is working, and the field is all out of order and all over the place. This is going to be interesting for this stage win. We got some wave around cars here. I don't know if they're giving Frisch his positions back or not because he looped the pit lane. There's certainly a decent amount of cars. Looks like Joey Bailey, I believe, had an issue on pit lane. So did Poulin, so did Morgan, so did Mikas, Dylan Smith, and Morgans. We're doubling up, Dylan, here in Darlington. And what chaos is ensuing for the last half of the field.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting here.
As remember, we go to the end of lap 30 for the end of stage 1 under the lights here at the Darlington Speedway, South Carolina. If you're just joining our coverage, welcome to HVMP's live coverage of the Solstice Proline Cup Series. It's Dylan Living, Josh Mertz in the commentary box, and Brandon Nicholson on pit lane. If you've missed it, it's been good. The field is all over the place. It's like you put the names on paper, you put them in a hat, you shuffle the hat, and here we are going green beginning lap 27 in Darlington. Unless they called it off. I believe they did. As they did not tell me that.
Yeah, so a potential green-white checkered here.
It looks like we've got some guys going down lane. We are doubling up again. Communication from the Solstice Race Control in the HVMP compound. Not playing nice with us here. So Poteet and Riley on the front row. Then it's Wetz, Mikas, and Wishart. Taylor recovers to 6th after being hit by Morgans in the 66. Unless Taylor is going down pit lane, he's going to let the field by. This is very confusing here, as it looks like we will be going green this time. Poteet and Riley, green flag in Darlington. Couple cars missing the start. It's going to be Flynn and Ionescu in the back of the field. They are 17th and 16th. As Wetz now challenging for the stage win, but all these cars bouncing back and forth, connection and transponder issues here, as Jeffrey Stanton in the 61 hits the wall. Now battling with Blake Trowick in the 56. Joey Bailey and Michael Frisch, 2 points contenders in the middle of the field. This is not what they need. Remember, I believe it was 2 weeks ago when Frisch did not have that good of a race. As Micah spins it in front of the field, and he gets hit by Lambert. Joey Bailey's around as well. And so is Rada squeaking through there. Caution is out. And it looks like Poteet's going to survive this first stage and take the victory.
Work on getting you a replay here.
Each worldwide cars, 3rd and 4th, Riley and Wishart. I do believe they sold the ad space on those cars to Dumb and Dumber and their faces on their cars. Very, very creative way of thinking for those two for Prestige Worldwide.
Yeah, not really sure what happened to Maiko's there. See quite a few cars. Oh, as Bailey got into Lambert pretty hard as they were all over the track.
And it's not really sure what was going on, but there was a lot of connection issues through that bit there. I don't know why these guys are pitting unless they are out of stage point contention.
Damn.
Because we now come to the end of the stage. Poteet, Wetz, Wishart, Frisch, and Morgans, the top 5. Looks like we have 17 cars, so we've got 7 on the track and 10 in pit lane. Guys, we're going to bring in Dylan Poteet here, stage 1 winner. And Mr. Poteet, you certainly survived a very strange little restart there. What's going on with these cars? Because I noticed, man, the speed, you dropped a second off the fastest lap pace.
Yeah, it started getting really tight. I was struggling a lot in turn 3. Joey was definitely better than me on that first run. As the run went on, I had to almost play a defensive line and run a little bit higher. But yeah, it started pushing really bad all at once, and yeah, it just was it was a grind right there for sure. I think track position, just by looking at this and qualifying, really paid off, and it's going to be a big factor in this race, I believe.
Is it just the cars getting tight or the tires being eaten up? What's going on?
I feel like it's getting a little bit tighter and stuff, and like I said, it's not as bad in 1 and 2 because we were still almost flooring it through the corner, and we're almost flat out, but 3 and 4 it seems like it's where it's really showing up the wear, because I've seen a lot of people sliding up and almost hitting the wall. Like I said, a lot of people were trying to do low entries, and some were still washing up, so like I said, it seems like in one side of the track is affecting it more than the other. 1 and 2 it's not as bad, but we were having to check up quite a bit, so.
Well, congratulations on that first stage win. We'll let you go, and good luck for stage 2.
Thanks, guys.
As Wetz in 2nd. 3rd is Wishart. 4th is Frisch now. Points leader has clawed his way up to 4th after a dismal qualifying run in the car number 58, and his rival Poulin, who is in 6th. You know, I rewatched in that little off week. I rewatched the couple races we've done so far, and I had a brain fade. Okay, I forgot that Frisch got beaten by Poulin at Daytona.
Oh yeah.
And then Frisch beat Poulin at Homestead. This battle between them, you know what I think? I think of Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel in F1. It is really, these two are the class of the field. And I can't wait to see through the playoffs if these guys can hold that consistency. Obviously, we've beaten that horse to death and then some. That consistency. But these guys, 19 points ahead of the field.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this very well could go on all the way to the end of the season. We're almost to that halfway mark in the season, so do we see any change up, you know, and big points shake up the second half of the season? We'll have to see. So,
you know what I think of? I think of Austin Forkner in the 250 West, or 250 East, sorry, for Supercross. He was leading the points by 26 over Chase Sexton, went down in practice, didn't race, and now it's like a 3-point gap. So anything can happen in racing. It really does.
Yeah, and funny enough, during our off week, I was actually at that race. Oh, it's Cosmo.
As Ionescu nearly hits the pit wall. Late second dive to pit lane. Botti and Wetz restart us in stage 2. Green flag. Stanton got a terrible restart in the 61. Mikas is going to go by him and last week's winner, Baker. I don't know what happened to Ionescu, but it looks like he just stepped through pit lane. I wonder if we can get Brandon Nicholson on that to see what just happened with the 24.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if he got loose going down pit road or what happened. I mean, or loose coming to the restart.
And two in the wall, one around, it's on Smith. It looked like Poulin stacked them up in 3 and 4, and caution is out. On my monitor here, I'm going to take a look and see if I can find anything with what happened to Cosman. I don't know if race control is going to take too kindly to that with all the crews and such.
Yeah, unless he got special instruction to roll through like that. As it looks like he's wanting to gain.
He clutched it, and it just sent. I think he might have gotten hit by the 56 of Trowett, but it sent him onto the apron. He did a great job of avoiding the pit wall, I have to say. Late second dives to pit lane as Wetz and Poteet stay out. It's going to be Richard leading Frisch, and then 66 of Morgan's, Riley, Spencer, Bailey, Baker, Rada, Stanton, Smith, Poulin down pit lane.
Yeah, as Josh, it'll be interesting to see as Frisch gets off pit road first there. Be interesting to see how these tires heat cycle for the guys who stayed out. And we're going to get the command here to double them up. So it's going to be Poteet, followed by Wetz, followed by Taylor, followed by Treywick, then Brandon Lambert, Chad Mikos, the 24 of Cosman Ionescu, 58 of Michael Frisch, these guys all pit. 32 of Matt Wisher, 66 of Taylor Morgans, 11 of Corey Spencer, 40 of Kyle Riley, 3 of Steve Rada, 9 of Nick Baker, 51 of Jolie Bailey, 61 Jeffrey Stanton, and 51 of Jolie Bailey, 21 of Jake Poulin, and last but not least, the 1 of Dylan Smith.
as I've been talking this whole entire time, and I had to be handed a new headset because it just decided to stop working.
Well,
but hello, I'm back.
It's been the theme of tonight, I suppose.
As still working out the growing pains here on HVMP. We certainly love that we've had all of you guys along for the ride. It's going to be Poteet, Wets, Taylor, Trawick, Lambert, green flag. Will Lambert do a little bit of a bump and run to Taylor if he can catch him? That's going to be the number one thing that I'm going to think about through this run. But Wets on the outside is going to lose so many spots in the 71 on Snake to the inside of him off of 2.
Yeah, and bouncing off the wall there definitely did not help that case at all.
Through 3 and 4. Poteet holds the lead over Taylor, Trawick, Lambert, Micus. Points leader Frisch is in 6th. Wets side by side with Ionescu in the 24. Looks like Ionescu is not going to be penalized for that excursion down pit lane. Ray Spencer slices under the Prestige cars, and so does Joey Bailey. As we were 3 wide for a moment there. Looks like they're riding the apron, entering 3 and 4. That's kind of bizarre. As Kyle Riley goes even lower underneath Spencer. Remember, there's no track limits here, and we are seeing that. Everyone's acting like Superman on fresh tires.
Yeah, it's amazing to see him exploit the corners here a little bit. Kyle Riley was all the way down on the apron coming out. I can't believe he got that much traction coming out of the corner. Obviously, it didn't get him around Corey Spencer, but still.
Side by side for the lead. Poteet with Jonathan Taylor. As Poteet credited with the race lead, and I don't think he's going to hold this lead anymore. And we're going to put Jonathan Taylor in car number 7, and we remember from a couple weeks ago, we don't want him to lead. We being Solstice and the drivers, more of a community-based response, because Jonathan Taylor, gone, bye, see you later.
Yeah, and I'm not too sure how familiar the 56 of Blake Trawick is. I know when the 22 of Poteet tried slotting up in front of him, Trawick was going to try to make a move, and then he backed off a little bit, and it looks like he backed off a little bit too much. Maiko's almost got in the back of him, forced the 46 of Lambert and the 58 of Frisch to check up really hard, and then they just ended up shuffling Trawick all the way back.
28-0 last lap to a 28-3. Let's see. Reset at the line. 28-8, 28-1. Micus 27-9. Lambert 27-9. These two are the fastest cars out of the top 5. Granted, a 10th is a 10th. Poteet hits the wall exiting 2. And this might look like a single file in a boring race, but I can tell you from experience, I hate Darlington because it's so hard to drive.
Oh yeah, and all these guys are earning their Darlington stripes right now.
As it's not like your regular turn left oval. I mean, you figure 4 or 5 grooves worth of asphalt underneath that dotted line, and you can't run it. There's no banking. It's a very unique layout.
Yeah, but you could definitely use that. This is definitely one of those tracks that we talked about. We kind of started talking about this at Five Flags, where you caution's out.
Caution is out. Rada in the 3. And him and Spencer came together on a hard impact for the Coca-Cola Dodge, and another instance of the Ross Chastain Kevin Harvick reference in the Xfinity Series last year. One hit the wall, bounced it off the wall, and slammed the inside wall. Still rolling though, still trucking in the Coca-Cola Dodge. This is going to reset the field because unless Taylor picks the outside, this might help Poteet.
Yeah, it looks like Rada has a couple of flats there.
Still 17 or 18 cars, sorry, still in the event. Like Micus is going to be jumping down pit lane. So is Poteet. This might hurt Taylor unless he does it. He does jump down pit lane. That would have been a horrible idea for car number 7. Everyone down pit lane. as we rejoin here, as pit stops have occurred, and Jonathan Taylor gets an end of longest line, Dylan.
Oh no!
What else could go wrong?
Ow, that... Ouch, that hurts from up here.
Kyle Riley, Taylor, Smith, and Trowick to the back of the field.
Wow.
This is going to put Bailey, Poulin, Poteet, Lambert, and Mikas, the top 5. I'm going to see if I can find something on my screen to identify why Taylor had some issues. Unless it was speeding on pit lane. As we are going green this time, I can't help but think that it might commitment line violation. Or actually, he was speeding on pit lane. Green flag. Bailey and Poulin, Poteet's in third as we restart. As I do want to confirm, I looked on my monitor, that black, you'll notice on the pit entry, that's the commitment cone, that's the pit speed line, and Jonathan Taylor was speeding on pit entry. Bailey leads over Poulin, Lambert side by side with Poteet. We saw in the back of the shot, Taylor was in the sucker hole in car number 7. And this is flipping this race upside down because we talked about how Frisch was ahead of Poulin. Now Poulin is ahead of Frisch. Joey Bailey out front, pulling away in the 51 over Poulin. I don't know if Poulin has the pace over these guys. He certainly wasn't that quick in practice, offense to car number 21, but the points leaders were down on pace compared to everybody else.
Yeah, but you know, Jake Poulin, if he doesn't immediately understand the track, he'll figure out a way to learn throughout the race. Then that way, if he comes and finishes strong at the end.
Poteet in second, side by side. It's looking like Taylor Morgan's with Mikas. Mikas couldn't get the run off the corner. Now Frisch battling him. Mikas, what a save from the 25. Around is Riley in the field. He gets hit by Taylor. Young SU Dylan Smith. That's going to bring the caution out as we just praised Mikas. What a hell of a save for the 25. And it looked like Kyle Riley got off the gas, lost all his downforce. He tried to save it, but he got past that point of literally no return trying to save that car and knocked a couple guys into the wall, including Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, definitely really unfortunate there.
Bailey, Poteet, Poulin, Lambert, Morgans, the top 5. What a race so far at Darlington. Solstice Racing never disappoints, of course. Certainly. Been some great racing so far. Getting closer to the Proline playoffs here on HVMP.
I also did want to remind the viewers, you can join in on our chat. Don't want you guys to be shy. I know we've kind of not had the best interaction with you guys for the last couple of weeks, but looking to change that and I don't know. Let's Josh, what about a fun little Q&A session here? We'll get back to it here in a few laps.
We definitely could do that. While we have a little bit of time here, under caution, late second dives for Bailey and for Poteet. I'm going to look on my monitor. Hopefully they weren't speeding on pit lane, but I think they were. Oh, when they exit pit lane, this is going to be huge to see. Going to shove those guys to the back of the field. Bailey, Poteet, Poulin, Lambert, Morgan's top 5. I don't know, unless, you know, the braking systems have changed in these cars. That sounds a little weird to say. Why are these guys having so much difficulty getting it down to pit road speed?
You know, I don't know. It's you want to get every little bit of an advantage as Poulin, no tires, I believe. A couple of guys with no tires, or maybe only 2. But yeah, you're trying to get any little advantage you can to get as much time on pit roads. So, I mean, it's fighting these guys.
Poteet back to the front of the field. Lambert in second. Bailey, Poulin, Morgans. Then it's Frisch, Wishart, Wetz, Stanton, Spencer top 10. Taylor, Blake Trowick, Steve Rada, Kyle Riley, Dylan Smith, Nick Baker, Ionesiu, and Chad Mikas, 15th through 18th. As once again, a banner at the top of the screen there has some information scrolling by. Feel free to contact HVMP if you'd like to have a little bit of spot there. Had a spotlight or whatever you want it to be. Certainly taking some partners at hvmp01@gmail.com. Poteet and Lambert on the front row of the grid as we restart lap 53 here in Darlington. And that's going to help Poteet decide groove. Great restart. If you're on the outside, if you're in second, kiss all your spots goodbye because you can't get a run off the corner where 3 wide nearly stands in his own zip code on the back straightaway there. 3 wide entering the corner, Stanton, Trowick, and Smith. Nearly 4 wide with Riley on the apron. This is like the end of the race.
Now
single
things calm
file
down.
for the first 5 cars. Side by side Wishart with his teammate Frisch. You got to imagine that there's not going to be any contact given between those teammates, but Frisch is hating this because Poulin is 2 spots ahead of him.
Yes, you definitely don't want to wreck your teammate, but man, when there's points on the line, you might do desperate things, desperate times.
I'm guilty of that whole NASCAR Rallycross thing. One quick plug there. Remember, we are going green in NASCAR Rallycross first week in May. So hopefully you can join us there as we make our return to NASCAR Racing 2003. Versus Rowan Poulin, the points leaders. Both of them have crashed exiting turn 2. And what did you just tell me?
Huh. Oh my goodness.
And they both came together exiting turn 2. Wishart was on the inside of Poulin. And now Frisch all torn up in the 58. And the racing gods could have not scripted that. We just talked about that.
Yeah, and this is serious damage on the 58.
Remember, though, he backed it into the fence in Nazareth. Had the same amount of damage. Came back to win the race.
It's true.
But the only thing I'm thinking of, obviously it's a bigger track. The 58 wasn't really up on base anyways. I'm a little worried because if my brain recalls correctly, he retired from Charlotte. So he didn't have a good race there. So he's given up some points unless he can get this car repaired. And last second effort for Riley to stay out of the pit lane. So he's going to be put up to the front of the field. Cycle him to the lead. Unless he just wanted to get credited with leading the lap. But we'll have to see. Everybody pits except for Kyle Riley. We'll have to take a look at the 58's crew and see. There's going to be some repairs made. Obviously, we hope there's going to be some repairs made to that Granger Ford, but what a development here in Darlington. Let me sit here and think about what we just watched after we just talked about it. So Poulin still in the pit lane in the 21. I don't know what's going on because that Prestige Worldwide team must be prepared to win this championship because they literally ripped the back bumper off. The deck lid's still hanging there. And he's back out on track.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely gives you a lot better chance of winning the race the more body panels you have in the car.
Poulin I think we know the reason why. I believe he was speeding, entering pit lane. So we put the championship contenders back to the back of the field. And I want to preface this because it makes it seem like this is the last race of the season. It's not, but they're tied on points. Green flag for Riley in the 40. They're tied on points. That's why we are making such a big deal, because like we've seen in every other form of racing, points are huge. And it doesn't matter. This race could lose one of those guys the championship. We don't know.
Yeah, every race counts, every position counts. Oh, is everybody.
Hard impact, it looked like. Who was it? It was Wetz in the 71. Taylor's involved as well, so is Bailey.
A lot of big names there, Josh.
Huge wreck. As Lambert involved as well. As Ionescu bounced it off the wall into Lambert, who got turned by Bailey. That was its own separate wreck. There was 2 wrecks in that. As Micus, Dylan Smith. We look at that other wreck.
Oh, yeah, just not enough
Spencer
real
bumped
estate.
into Taylor. Bumped into Taylor. It was a hard impact for Wetz in the 71. Jeffrey Stanton involved. We're back under caution here, coming to 36 laps to go. Prestige Worldwide teammates on the front row of the grid. Kyle Riley and Matt Wishart.
Yeah, as there's really not a whole lot of room coming off that corner, and so when you run out of room like that, you get that guy into the outside wall, and there's a lot. I mean, this is a really wide racetrack, a lot of room for you to gain in speed, actually, and hit the wall, so... As I hope we have not lost Josh yet. Either that or we broke the Josh machine.
I'm taking a moment, catching my breath after
Yeah.
what the hell we've just been watching here in Darlington.
We broke him. Man, I'm gonna have to figure out some good filler commentary. I'm gonna have to fill an entire broadcast with stuff to say, Josh, here in a couple of weeks. As you attempt to run, man, I should have ran this race. That would have been a really cool race to run. I'll have to see if I can pick one out on the schedule, just to give it a whirl.
As Dylan is attempting to articulate that I will be jumping into one of these beasts here at the Colorado Motorplex in a couple of weeks, and I'm very excited to see. I'm not expecting much. I don't like to claim I'm the greatest driver ever. If you throw a little dirt on it, put a jump or two, maybe we'll do a little bit better. But it's been a while that I've been in a stock car on a road course.
You should run Charlotte then if you wanted a rallycross track.
It's been, come to think of it, now that I'm actually putting thought to it, it's been about 5 years that I've been in a stock car on a road course. That's a long time. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun little race in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for sure to see you knock off the rust. So
it's gonna be fun for you. As I watched the one of the old HVMP broadcasts, and the amount of dead air in there, certainly funny to listen to. Like Dylan mentioned a couple weeks ago, basically like watching a race with friends. That's what we like to do here at HVMP. We go green this time. It's Kyle Riley and Matt Wishart in the Dumb and Dumber cars for Prestige Worldwide. Green flag.
Oh, who put Dumb and Dumber up on the top here?
As Wishart gets his teammate in as they lead through turns 1 and 2. Taylor Morgan slices up in front of Poteet, and he holds the 3rd spot. Taylor gets a huge run off of turn 2, underneath 3 wide with Stanton and Rada, but he does not make it 3 wide.
Oh, Trawick in the wall.
Trawick in the wall, gets hit by Rada, and we wad him up again. I'm not sure what just happened, but Steve Rada wads up the field.
I mean,
he actually just parked the car because of that. I don't know if there was brake issues or not.
It's situational awareness is key there, and he was up into the wall there for a while. Saw a couple of cars split him 3 wide, but Rada nowhere to go, gets in the back of him.
Riley, Wishart, Morgans, Petit, Micus, top 5. Smith, Frisch, Stanton, Taylor, and Poulin, top 10. Lambert, Spencer, Wetz, Baker, Trawick, Bailey, Ionescu. As Rada becomes the first retirement here in Darlington. Not a bad lap to retire. I mean that in the way of he's the only car retired in 63 laps. So certainly not a very attrition-filled race. It's been a go bowling kind of race, but it's certainly not been attrition-filled.
Well, we never said it was going to be a clean one, so.
But when is Darlington ever a clean race? You got to think about it that way.
It's true.
So Bailey, Ionescu, Smith, Wetz, Frisch, Trawick, Baker, and Spencer all pit. So it looks like we get a half split between pitting and not pitting. The Prestige Worldwide car still on the front row of the grid. Taylor Morgan's in 3rd. Poteet in 4th. 5th is Micus. 6th is Stanton. 7th is Taylor. 8th, Poulin, Lambert. 5th, Spencer, Wetz. Where is Frisch? Frisch got a black flag, speeding on 9. So did Ionescu. You guys are having horrible luck trying to get on pit lane.
Yeah, I don't know if they know if they're getting caught at the beginning of pit road or at the end of pit road. Because typically we don't see this many speeding penalties when it's just through the middle of pit road, so.
We're getting ready to go green this time.
And Josh,
here in Darlington.
I will note the last time we went green, Dumb and Dumber made us look like Dumb and Dumber.
They did have a very good strategy.
Very good restart, and they pulled
there.
away, so I was not expecting that. Good communication between those two teammates, for sure.
So, they've got the engine of the train and the caboose as Michael Frisch, points leader, who is only leading the points because of his playoff points. Remember how powerful he is in the stages. Just not having a good day here in Darlington.
No, but you can't win them all, and you can't let a couple of bad moments spoil a bunch of good ones, so.
Can't let Poulin win the war. He can win the battle, but he doesn't want to win the war. Front row, Riley and Wishart. Morgans and Poteet 2nd row. Green flag, and we're doing it again with the Prestige teammates. But can Poteet Wishart to turn 1 side by side? There's the 32 and the 22. Morgan's in the 66. Peeking there. They're going to be side by side. Poteet nearly hits the wall. He gets a little loose off of turn 2, and Morgan's now going to battle with him. Stanton, high, wide, and handsome, brushes the wall in the 61. Hopefully we don't have another issue. He gets hit by Wetz, and we're going to do it again unless he can save it.
Wetz.
And we're going to wad him up again.
Oh, and this time Nina Nick Baker's involved. Ionescu is involved in another incident here. And this has always been typical of Darlington, where one guy gets up into the wall and it just, I mean, they just stop.
But here's the issue. I can see both sides of the coin. I can see someone, you know, plowing in, not saying that Wetz or Rada did, but let's say they did. They plowed into him because they had nothing else to do. You got to think about it this way. You either do that or you hit your brakes and you do the same exact thing that the guy in front of you is doing.
Well,
You're just going to wad up the field.
And you don't want to give up that much time either, but, I mean, you guys need to give a little bit of room when that happens.
Still holding the lead. This strategy for Prestige Worldwide is working. This is going to be the third restart that these guys are going to be on the front row of the grid. If I were them, I'd just keep doing this. Because according to logic, everyone's just going to wad them up.
Right?
Once again, even though the running order has not changed, really, Riley, Bishop, Poteet, Taylor Morgans, Chad Mikas, Jonathan Taylor, Jake Poulin, Brandon Lambert, Corey Spencer, Joey Bailey rounds the top 10. Blake Trowick, Michael Frisch, Chris Wetz, Dylan Smith, Nick Baker, Cosmin Ionescu, and Jeffrey Stanton. That is your 17-car field. Poteet goes down pit lane. No, he doesn't. But that's going to hurt. Morgan's in the 66 as the newcomer is the only car in the front of the field to pit. Everybody else pitting was involved in the wreck. Stanton, Ionescu, Baker. This is huge for him in the worst of ways.
Yeah, we'll see how good those 4 fresh tires are blasting up through the field. Morgan's is a fantastic driver. He's really fast. We'll see if it helps him or hurts him.
Fastest lap of the race, still at 27.849. That has not changed. That was Dylan Poteet, literally the first or second lap of the race. We can recall how fast those laps were. Track slowly aging, slowly progressing. Sun is setting, getting cooler, but yet the cars are going slower. Tires continue to wear. As glad you can join us here on High Voltage Media Productions, live in Darlington, South Carolina. It's Josh Mertz and Dylan Livingood in the commentary box. Brandon Nicholson down on pit lane. Not sure what's happening here with Riley in the 40, unless he was just recalibrating something in the cockpit. He is going to take the outside. Looks like we are going green this time.
So this will be interesting.
Riley and Wishart for the third consecutive restart. Will they do this strategy that they have been doing to let these two hold the lead of the race? It's beautiful racecraft from these guys, green flag. But Wishart's got to make sure that he can beat Mikas to turn 1. Mikas is going to hold third now. Poteet in fourth, side by side. Poteet with Poulin. Then it's Taylor with Poulin exiting turn 2 down the backstretch. Nobody bounces it off the wall this time. Hopefully we can get through 3 and 4 cleanly. But the Prestige Worldwide cars, who remember had a dismal race, Frisch is around in the 58, but he saves it as Spencer and Smith make contact. Ionescu involved as well. As we did it again. And Michael Frisch is the luckiest guy around because he almost wadded up the field.
Yeah, where's a caution when you need one? There it is.
So the Prestige cars are going to restart together for the 4th restart of the night, as they almost lost the points leading car, and that was a heart-in-your-throat moment for Michael Frisch for sure.
Yeah, and Josh, we are hearing from Solstice officials that we're switching now to single-file restarts to try to help clean up these the racing here and try to get some more green flag laps in.
I think the issue is one guy gets into the wall and it just causes everyone to wad it up. So
did Wishart just hit the inside wall? Oh,
see what happens to the 32. I'm not really sure what happened. He hit the wall, the car stopped, refired it. I'm not really sure what happened at all.
And is he gonna go to the end of the pacing line? He is. That okay. I'm not sure what happened there, but
as oh, we get a report from race control. He tried to fake with his teammate, but he hit the commitment cone, and then his automatic end of longest line. So many little mistakes for Prestige Worldwide, and it's killing their chances. Granted, they have one car in the lead, but so many little mistakes. It's those little things that you have to iron out.
Yeah, absolutely. Not what we expected out of them for leading here. So.
And obviously we're doing single file restarts, so the whole 2-car thing, it doesn't matter that way. But the way it matters is because Riley gets a better run than Wishart, of course. They slot into turn 1. His wingman's gone. So if Poteet can get a good jump over Riley, it's over for this team.
Yeah, and that's all fair and fine with what they're doing on the restarts and stuff. But what's really, really going to kill Wishart now is having to start in the back of the field. And it's the whole field's going to be strung out. The leader's going to be all the way up there now. So now we double the length of the pacing line, and that just makes going to the back even more painful.
This reminds me back in the mid-2000s when NASCAR was single file. You had 43 cars at Bristol. You were half a lap down before you even went back green.
Yeah.
So single file restart, making its appearance the first time, I believe, this season here in Solstice Racing in 2019. Kyle Riley, Poteet, Mikas, Taylor, and Bailey, top 5. As we come off of turn 4. Very weird to see in 2019. It's literally been 10 years since we've seen single file restarts, and Riley, like I just mentioned, spun the tires. I think he's going to recover, though. It's going to be side by side. Bailey with Mikas, Taylor with Mikas. We just talked about how single file help everyone. Over is Dylan Smith in car number 1. And into the fence he went.
Oh,
what are the odds that a single file restart causes a huge wreck?
I can't even believe that.
As he bumped into Ionescu, got involved with Stanton and rolled it in car number 1. As we are under caution again.
As I'm sure it had a little bit of the opposite effect from what they were thinking, because I mean, I'm sure everyone was like, okay, we really have to go on this restart now, and just somebody backed it up, and
I'm thinking what happened, Dylan? I'm thinking what happened is when Riley spun his tires.
Well, yeah, and then we saw 2 wide then. So, I mean, I guess we do have to give it a fair chance here yet.
As Riley, Poteet, Bailey, Taylor, Mikas, the top 5. Taylor Morgans, Lambert, Wetz, Poulin, and Trawick. Unless the LMT crew can fix car number 1, might be losing Dylan Smith here. There's a lot of damage on that car. He, of course, is going to go down pit lane. We'll have to see if any of these guys alternate their strategy. Mikas hits from 5th, Poulin from 9th. The rest of these guys that were involved in the wreck. So let's see. I'm curious to see what they're going to do on car number 1. I'm looking out of the commentary box down towards that car, as we do have a camera planted right in the commentary box. You see exactly what we see through our viewfinder effectively. And the LMT crew certainly working on fixing that car. A lot of fans still here. Obviously the War Wagons pit crews are still here. The only retirement in the race was Steve Rada. And I don't think it's going to be a fuel mileage race. I think it's just going to be down to surviving these restarts. It's crazy that these guys have so many issues. As Dylan Smith back on track here, I'm just thinking that these guys are getting so antsy, so ready, that they're just driving over their head potentially. I could be wrong.
Yeah, and we've already gone over the hour mark here that these guys have been in the cars, so I mean, laps are winding down, 15 to go. Let's go and let's see if we can get this thing going to the end.
Had such a good run for the first half or so as we get ready to go green. 1 lap until green. We are running to lap 96. And what a fortune change for Kyle Riley, because finished what, last in Charlotte with his teammate. They had an awful race. The 32 and the 40. I don't know if it was due to damage or what, but they had the slowest cars in Charlotte. And here Riley is leading the race. Granted, it's under caution for most of the time, but still, the win's a win essentially if it were to happen. As Potteet's still second. One of the fastest guys here, won stage 1. And I believe he's just waiting for a moment to pounce. There's no way that he is just going to let Kyle Riley cruise away if he can, if we stay green. But he's going to certainly try to fight the 40. We are trying to go back green once again here in South Carolina. Kyle Riley leads Potteet, Bailey, Taylor, and Morgan's green flag. See if we can stay clean. Jeffrey Stanton slides it off the restart and into the inside wall in the 61. Looks like we are giving each other room through turns 1 and 2. Let's see how it is through turns 3 and 4. If we can come back to the green flag, and it's not the yellow flag. Trowick and Frisch side by side exiting turn 4. Wishart and Micus battling. Trowick gets passed by both of them. Now it's going to be Bailey and Potteet battling for the second spot. Potteet way up in the wall in 22. Off of turn 2. Bailey to second. And he's setting his sights on the race leader, Kyle Riley, half a second faster than him last lap. Side by side, it's Morgan's with Taylor. That is for 4th. As Taylor trying to battle Potteet. As we have evened out and calmed down, finally, after a decent amount of time under yellow, we can finally let him loose. Taylor passes Morgan's in the 66. Bailey was slower than Riley in the 40, but Joey Bailey faster than Kyle Riley off of turn 2 through 3 and 4. Still clean, still good. We're always worried if we're going to be under caution again after a decent amount of time. And Kyle Riley's putting up a fight, but Bailey was 0.2 of a second faster. The inside is the 51 on the 40. Side by side, down the back straightaway, into turn 3. We know Joey Bailey's a quick car. We know Kyle Riley knows how to defend. Side by side, Potteet and Taylor for 3rd. And at the line, let's see if Riley can hold the lead. No, Bailey's credited with leading the lap there on lap 81. To the inside of Taylor goes, on the inside of Taylor goes Taylor Morgan's, confusing me with my names. As Potteet gets by Riley there in the 40. And I think Kyle Riley's moment in the sun is gone, because that 40 car certainly doesn't have the pace over the rest of the field.
Yes, I do want to apologize to the viewers. We do have the lap counter correct now, so 14 to go, I believe.
We are on 14 laps to go. Kyle Riley bounces it off the wall. Taylor Morgan's in the 66. They're 3 wide with wets. Riley and Lambert thought better of it. We are seeing Frisch peek his way in there. He's in the 9th spot. He's ahead of Poulin.
Yeah, and Frisch really wanting to make his presence known.
If this was the last race of the season, we would not have to worry about Micah stealing the show. Chad Micah had a terrible race of himself, so the top 3 in points nowhere to be found tonight in Darlington, as it was Frisch, Poulin, Micus, the top 3. So realistically, I think Joey Bailey's 4th in points. He's profiting from all this.
Yeah, this is exactly what he needs. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Morgan's on the inside of on the inside of Taylor and shoves him up into the wall. Now Wett's trying to make him move into the inside, and he's gonna go around.
As the 71 loops it, can he keep it off the top of the track there? He does, for the man from Texas, loops it from 5th. Side by side, Lambert with Taylor. Taylor Morgan's on Poteet. If we look at the point standings real quick, it was Frisch, Poulin, Micus, Bailey, Lambert. Bailey's 27 behind Frisch, so I think Frisch could hold the points lead if he has a dismal race and still finishes behind Bailey. Poteet bounces it off the wall off a 2, and Taylor Morgan's to the inside. They've got a huge advantage over Jonathan Taylor in the 7, and Frisch is in 6th. He's actually in 5th now. He got by Lambert.
So things starting to calm down now. Starting to get a little bit stretched out, and Joey Bailey stretching his legs.
Gap is 0.7 of a second from him to Taylor Morgan's. Morgan's making his first start this season. What a race for him.
Yeah, what a way to show off for your first. So hopefully he can hold on and bring it home in that 2nd position.
Make a comment about Kyle Riley, who has fallen like a rock off the top of the mountain. He is now in the 8th position, and he's 2.5 seconds behind Joey Bailey.
But hey, at least he found his teammate again. Oh no!
As Corey Spencer and Trawick around off of turn 2, can they keep it off the outside of the track as Wetz makes contact with Micus?
Oh no. Huge
as we are
hit
under
for
caution
Micus.
again. That one I think could have been avoided. Wetz just didn't hit the brakes.
As we'll get you a replay of what caused the initial wreck, and then what happened with Wetz.
I think Wetz just tried to Days of Thunder it through the smoke. Who's going to pit with under 10 laps to go? Morgan's doesn't. He was trying to fake him out. Nobody pits. This is fascinating. Would you take a chance and get new tires?
Yes. That was quite the green flag run there, so.
Wetz.
Oh.
Not sure what's going on in the 71 there, but we know Wetz, a man of very strange ways, and the fact that he did not use his brake pedal against Chad Micus is very odd.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of cuss words over the radio there.
You know, Chad Micus is a very outspoken guy, so if anything goes wrong or goes awry, we know that he'll certainly talk about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to put the two of them in a room together right now.
Bailey, Morgan's, Taylor, Frisch, and Poteet. Just ran on the scanner that Poteet does this every week with under 10 to go, so I'm not sure what's going on. Now everybody pits. Look at this!
Oh,
Morgan's misses the commitment cone. That's going to hurt him. That's going to kill his race. Micah stays out too.
Yeah, I think
Micah's Chad's best chance.
Yeah, I think Micah's just said screw it.
Because look here, Dylan. We're on lap 91 of 96.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of time.
No.
So we can almost have. We have Morgan's and Micah's, the only two cars on old tires. They just got to hope that they ace this restart.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that's making me really nervous right now is what if they don't? Because they have old tires. Chad went around. He definitely doesn't have any tires underneath that thing, so they got to get up to the gears swiftly, minimize the wheel spin, and just hold on and good luck, I guess.
We'll have to see if they pit because Bailey and Frisch is 4th. Wishart's 5th, Yonescu, Riley Baker, Taylor Poteet, Poulin Lambert, Smith, Trawick, Wetz, Stanton. So Poteet hinders himself further Micus is going to pit. I'm literally covering my eyes. This is insane. This is going to be a frantic 5 laps. I sit here. I'm doing the same thing. So when a NASCAR race is stupid crazy and you have no idea what's going on, I just sit here in disbelief, okay? And that's exactly what I'm doing right here because I can't believe what we're about to witness.
Yeah, you just have to look blankly at the screen.
This is... So let's reset the running order. Taylor Morgan's in his first start this season. I'm not sure, not too familiar. I don't know if this is his first start ever in Solstice, but it's his first start this season for sure. It's going to be Joey Bailey second, Frisch third, fourth Wishart, fifth Yonescu, sixth Kyle Riley, Baker, Taylor, Poteet, Poulin, Lambert, Dylan Smith, Trowick, Wetz, Stanton, Micus. The only thing that I'm concerned about is their single file restarts. It's not like a double file. We're going green. Going to lap 93. It's going to be 4 laps to go in Darlington. And newcomer Taylor Morgans will lead us to the green. Taylor drops down, will block Poteet. Entering turn 1. Remember, Morgans is on old tires. It's their time to pounce, because if they don't pounce now, he'll probably win the race. Exiting turn 2, Bailey got a great run. Frisch is in third. Fourth is Wishart. Entering turn 3, Morgans has to back up the corner a lot because of those older tires. Wishart on the outside. We take 3 laps to go. Yonescu to the inside of Wishart. That's for fourth. Bailey went a little higher than Morgans this lap. He goes to the apron, and he's going to be side by side. Will Frisch help him? It's going to be bump drafting in Darlington.
Oh, no!
Bailey locked it up. He got into Frisch, and the points leader, side by side, he gets turned and into the wall. What a save by Frisch, but he's going to be so mad at what just happened. And 2 laps to go for Taylor Morgans.
With a huge gap that Bailey's going to have to climb back.
This is a true Solstice race, Dylan. We talked about 2 weeks ago how we had no idea what was going on, and I have a feeling that I know what's going to happen. And Joey Bailey's got 1 lap to try and do it, and the newcomer, Taylor Morgans, can he do it in his first start?
Oh,
white flag!
He's stacking the entire field
to the
up.
Inside. Poteet on Taylor. And
Oh no!
As Taylor Morgan gets turned, and Jonathan Taylor takes the lead!
Oh, and a
Poteet
huge wreck ensues.
As the wrecking behind him! It's gonna be side by side into turn 3! As everyone's combusting! There's only 2 cars left! It's gonna be side by side just like 2003! It's gonna be Jonathan Taylor at the line!
Oh!
It's in Darlington! I can't believe it!
Oh, have you ever?
No, I've never. I've been waiting so long to say that.
Oh, and we got to say it live. Oh. That was fantastic. I mean, what a tragedy to have happen behind him. Jonathan Taylor. Oh, the man of the hour. The man of the last couple hours.
Let me catch my breath as Jonathan Taylor beats Poteet at the line, just like in 2003.
And they're going to celebrate together. That's awesome.
As a true Solstice race has just happened here at the Darlington Raceway. I don't know if we should talk to our winner or realize what the hell just happened.
Oh, let's let him burn down the house here for a quick sec.
As you know, I talk about you every week, okay? And I talk about how horrible of luck you have. There's a horseshoe way up somewhere, and I need it. What the hell just happened? Jonathan Taylor, you won in Darlington.
I have no idea. I mean, for one, you know, I took the 4 tires there at the end. I was hoping that not that many people took 2 or stayed out. I saw I was lined up 9th, and I really thought that was the race. But, you know, drive the wheels off of it, and, you know, anything can happen, especially at a track like Darlington where everybody's so close. So I got up to 5th on the last lap, and he said, you know what? They're racing really hard. They're about to wreck in 4. Let's just, you know, let's go for it. And the way this season has gone, that just was a total monkey off my back. I feel like everything's gone wrong this year, from, you know, issues with the car to, you know, running up front and getting penalties to getting wrecked out. It's been a long year. This certainly makes it a bit sweeter, and I can't help but thank everybody at Big Dick Energy Racing, Arby's, Buffalo Wild Wings, everybody that's been, you know, putting their effort into this car. We've been really fast. We've been really strong. If we get into the championship, I will get to the Final Four. I will run for that championship, and I will be a threat. And as long as we're there, so it's been awesome. I'm so happy we're here.
As Dylan, is there anything you'd like to ask? Or
Yeah, I mean, wow, congratulations.
I can't bring myself to say this. Yes, you won the race. It's not anything bad to you. I can't figure out how you won the race. But go ahead, Dylan.
Well, that's what I was going to ask him. We saw you go through 2 big incidents to pick up that win. What does it take to have that kind of heads up awareness, and, you know where the other cars are, and to be able to pounce as soon as things start to go awry?
I mean, I think honestly, it comes down to focusing on what you need to do. So like when they were wrecking in 3 and 4, I just ran my line and, you know, was slow enough where I was prepared to go low if need be, but luckily they straightened it out. We got it together. 1 and 2, it's one of those days of thunder moments where you just, you know, you turn it as far left as you can, you close your eyes, and you pray to the Lord that you get through it. You know, I thought Cosmo was gonna get through it. He got, you know, nicked on the right rear, unfortunately. You need to be ready when that stuff happens. This is Darlington. Tight racing happens, and you know, it wasn't like we ran, you know, outside the top 10 all day and we won. We were fast. I knew we were fast, and I knew we'd give them a run if they started wrecking. So all credit to the car and, you know, everybody that went into it. It's been a lot. So I'm glad we got a little bit of luck.
Yeah, I'm sure it's definitely been a gauge, you know, with as well as you were doing early on in the race. And did the number of cautions that we had there seem to hinder your rhythm at all throughout the middle of the race, or walk us through that?
It's tough. It's tough. You know, you have to be ready. You have to be ready for that kind of stuff with it being Darlington, and Darlington's a very rhythm-based track. But luckily, I'm really comfortable here. This is one of my best tracks in my opinion, so I kind of have an idea of where my lines hit. Now, it's always, you know, each run with the cold tires, you don't know what you're gonna get, but, you know, all the cautions were really frustrating. I felt like I was fast enough to try and get up there and get within the top 3 and really make a run at it, especially with some of the guys staying out and having older tires like Kyle. But it was one of those things where you just gotta trust what you know and keep running.
Well, thank you so much for putting on a phenomenal race, phenomenal all the way down to the wire, Josh. I mean, what an incredible race we saw today.
As like I mentioned, congrats to you, John. We'll let you celebrate with your team, and we're gonna dissect what the hell just happened.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Now, I'd like to try and lead our dissection of what just happened. I'm not sure if the replay monitor can be synced up entirely to exactly what I'm saying, but we're going to take a look on the replay feed here. According to timing, it's about 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 30 seconds into the race as Morgan's leads Bailey. Now we're going to run that at about a quarter of the speed as Bailey hits Morgan's. And this is like, oh crap, you've got 2 cars in the wall. But the problem is Bailey comes down into Yonescu and clips him. This is where Poteet and Taylor survive, because what happens after this, granted it's at 4th of the speed, so you're thinking, how are they going to wreck? But these guys are driving cars that are basically already crashing. Because Morgan's comes down into Lambert, and then what happens is he gets spit into Yonescu. Yonescu goes into the fence. Okay, so we hope that he's okay in the 24. And then this is so bizarre because Yonescu goes into the fence. Morgan's is the pinball in this situation because he hits Trowick. He hits the 21 of Poulin who slams into the fence. And I've got to pause it at this moment. I'm not sure again if it's synced up. But Dylan, we see Micus and Smith. And at this point in time, you can guarantee that they're trying to full throttle through this because Micus hits Lambert and ironically clears the way for Dylan Smith, who was in the fence upside down, 20 laps ago, to somehow finish 3rd. So as I'm just looking at this, and it looks like Frisch tried to do the same thing, because if we take a look at the back of the field, Frisch is just trying to find his way through. He plows his way through this field, and certainly not in the prettiest of ways, as Wishart and Riley sneaks down on the inside of the track. And we have a couple of the cars in the back of the field, like Wetz, Wishart. Yonescu's car was still running somehow. But the fact of the matter that if we can take a look at the start-finish line, and granted, it's a car length, whatever, but the fact of the matter that they were side by side from turn 2 till then is insane because of everything that happened.
And then just watching him come down to the line here. I mean, that just... Hollywood couldn't have wrote it any better.
As we're going to go through the final results here, as it certainly was not the same as we took the white flag. So Jonathan Taylor wins over Dylan Poteet by 0.044 of a second. Dylan Smith finishes 3rd. He's 3.9 seconds behind Jonathan Taylor. Kyle Riley recovers to 4th. Taylor Morgans, after ending up the pinball in the machine, finishes 5th in his first start this season. Blake Trowick gets 6th as Micus, Wetz, Baker, and Frisch round out the top 10. Remember, most of these results, realistically, from 6th on down, are going to be skewed because it's a matter of firing your car up and crossing the line. But still, Poulin, Stanton, Wishart, Bailey's going to drop to 14th. As Lambert and Yonescu, I don't believe, finished the final lap. Corey Spencer and Steve Rada both retired. As I try and think of an outro to all these races, but I literally can't. I can't figure out what just happened. All I can say, and it sounds cliche, but I hope to see you guys next week in New Hampshire because Darlington proved to be too tough to tame for all these guys. And somehow Jonathan Taylor managed to squeak it out over Dylan Poteet. As Dylan, did you have anything before we head out?
Oh man, just I hope to see all you guys next week because this season just is getting more and more fired up, and I'm sure there's going to be some tempers boiling over here from the Lady in Black.
As hope you have enjoyed today's coverage here at Darlington, South Carolina for the Throwback Week here in Darlington. We hope to see you next week up north in Loudon, New Hampshire. But until then, so long, everyone.